Hey guys, welcome to Sled Talk. Appreciate you guys tuning in. I would like to take a second of your time and introduce this season's title sponsor is Bikeman Performance. So they've decided to jump on board and help push the podcast. And if you're unaware, Bikeman is the elite level when it comes to aftermarket performance parts on your sled. So be sure to check out their site, link in the description. And without further ado, let's jump into the show.
Let the band play.
100K on the Protect, living life with no regrets. I can't designer when I get dressed. Summertime on winter fresh. I put her legs behind her head. Night she gone to bed. Bye. Every day it's a new test. I just keep chasing these checks. Living life with no regrets. Living life with no regrets. Living life with no regrets. Living life with no regrets.
Listeners, welcome back to the next episode, day 2 of Hay Days. We got a whole stacked lineup here, full, all 4 mics running. Boys, let's just go down the line and introduce yourselves.
Well, I'm Gabe Bunke. We're a cross-country race team. Come to Hay Days every year, and just came out here today with my boys. Let them introduce themselves.
I'm Bo Bunke. I race semi-pro for Core Power Sports, and been racing for a couple of years and just having a blast.
Yeah, Taylor Bunke. Racing the pro class for Polaris and Core Power Sports. Having a good time at Hay Days. It's a lot of, seems like everything here every year.
There's a lot
Whether
going
it's
on.
snowmobiles or I think I saw a lawnmower going down an aisle
Yeah.
with some goodies on
A
it.
little freestyle action going on out there.
Heck yeah.
Some good times. A lot of good friends around too. So
Yeah. Good time to shake a lot of hands, see a lot of people that you don't get to see every day.
yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
So-
Super
For sure.
good marketing
Oh, yeah.
area. I mean, everybody's here.
Yeah, good networking opportunity. And I found too, this is my first time here, and I've definitely found that, we all know that the snowmobile industry is pretty unique, and a lot of the individuals involved in it are pretty just solid, good, down-to-earth humans. And it's definitely one of my favorite aspects of the industry as a whole. And, you get to see that racing or, going to the snow parks or whatever a little bit here and there. But then once you're overwhelmed with all these people, you get to see that firsthand that it is, all across the industry that just a lot of solid, good people.
Oh, for sure.
Absolutely. That's one of the things that's kept us, going to the races, and every year you meet somebody new, and we're continually making new friends. These are lifelong friends, and it's one of the things that keeps us coming back year after year, because we're from all over the country. Sometimes people from Michigan, Wisconsin, Minnesota, North Dakota, are all guys that we run with every weekend all winter long, and this is.
Well, the thing is we don't see them.
Right.
We come to do Hay Days, and 90% of the people that we know through the snow world, you don't see them until you come here.
Right,
and you've
right.
been doing it for what, 26 years?
Yeah.
So it's like the slew of people that it's like, oh yeah, I know you. You make it 5, steps down the aisle, and it's like a 20-minute conversation. But it's all great. It's awesome.
Yeah.
A lot of our fellow racers live 20 plus hours away, so
Some of them, some of them are coming from down by Detroit, and shoot, last time we saw them was at the last race of the year last year at Spirit Mountain, and haven't heard from them. All of a sudden here they come walking up, and it's like just saw them last week. Pick up right where we left off, and getting back at her now. So.
Heck yeah, awesome. So Taylor, Bo, do you guys do the exact same style of racing? Or
Yeah.
Okay.
So a little background on what we do and kind of where it stemmed from was our grandpa, Jerry Bunke, started racing for racing in the 60s, 70s, raced for factory Polaris in the 70s doing ovals. Was involved in an accident, was killed racing, and then Dad started racing in 96.
97.
Yeah, 96, 97 year was my first year out competing, but I just really fell in love with the sport and the people and everything. It just felt natural. I was, fortunate enough to stay involved with the people that my dad worked with back in the 70s, and after I graduated from high school, and was just fortunate enough to get into the sport.
Yeah.
You started when you initially started. It was you doing cross country. There was What was the circuit called?
ISOC was the premier circuit at the time. We ran mainly cross-country ice races. The I-500 was one of the races, and then it was kind of the start of when snowcross was really getting going. I know, Blair Morgan hadn't even started when, my first year. I think it was my second year out when Blair, showed up at the expo out in Yellowstone and just kind of, showed everybody what snowcross was supposed to be like, and that it exploded after that, and things transitioned into, the WSA series, and snowcross was it for a long time, and cross country was a little bit on the downside, but we had the heart and the passion to keep going, and walk through the trenches for many years, just little podunk backcountry races, and it's been a good run now for a solid probably 20 years of a good cross country series, and Core Power Sports is the series now that's running it, and they do a bang up job, with a race schedule and good events and stuff like that.
So. Winds up being like, what is it, 7 or 8
7 races
events
on the schedule right now, and then we also do the Sioux 500 in Michigan, which it's a different style of racing, and it's 500 miles on a 1 mile oval track with mod sleds, and it's NASCAR on ice.
Sure.
Like
what that is.
Daytona
Northern Michigan.
holes that are 5 feet deep.
Yeah. It gets that way at the end, but you got to get to the end first.
Yeah,
you
got to
holes.
finish. Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Nice.
So Bo and I are kind of, doing the cross country thing and the enduro thing.
Trying to keep it in the family.
Yeah. Cross country. To start the year out with some ice racing, ice Le Mans. So 10-mile. Usually it's a 10-mile ice course, and then
100-mile race.
We transition into some cross country racing.
Got it.
Next weekend we might be doing some ditch stuff through the woods, rivers, lakes.
So sometimes we'll go from having our sleds 3 inches off the ground to full travel, weekend on weekend. It's kind of different every weekend.
Gotcha.
So
keeps you on your toes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet.
It's all a little different.
Very, very diverse.
Yeah. And so how long does the season typically run for?
We usually get fired up in December.
Okay.
Our first run is usually, if Mother Nature cooperates and makes ice and gets us some snow in December, we'll usually get one event off before Christmas and then get a little break. And then after the first of the year, it's pretty much every weekend until the end of February.
Okay.
And then it tapers off into March, and Core does a 1 or 2 end of the year hill races. They use
we did one on the
hills.
last weekend of March last year.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But end of March into April is when we do the last events, and those are the ski hill venues that Core does. Once the ski hills have closed down for the year, they'll just tear them up and make a good hill cross for us.
Yeah.
It's kind of fun to watch, and it's weather's good then. It's get your sun intake for the year after being in hibernation all winter, right?
Sure. Yeah.
First good sunburn on.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know the girls, like my wife and mom and all the friends that come with, they love those events. Like the one race where were we? Upson, Wisconsin?
Yeah.
Or was it Michigan? Wisconsin? I think it was still Wisconsin. And ski hill race is shut down for the year. They were done skiing, and they had it was like a wine hut at the bottom of the hill.
Oh.
So like they had a gator going back and forth,
Okay.
Delivering people, and show up, have a bonfire, and the girls were having a wild time.
Huge hit. I remember going by there, and it was just like 30 people just standing down there. It's just little hut, and
it's as close as we get to a Jackson Hole production.
Got it.
People are just out having fun.
Yeah.
Nowhere near the level, but
Sure.
as close as we get in cross country.
Gotcha. Heck yeah.
Absolutely.
And so what are all the locations and states? Like how far do you guys travel, and what's kind of the whole?
So the furthest event is the Sioux I-500 over in Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan.
Usually it's a 12-hour trip for us.
It's a 700-mile trip.
Full day
for
of
us,
driving.
Depending on where you're at. But it's clear across the UP over on the east side, up in the northeast corner up there, and that race has been going on for 63 or 4 years.
Wow.
It's kind of the granddaddy of them all.
Sure.
And that's the furthest we go. Most of the stuff's based out of right here in Minnesota. We don't come as far south as like where we're at here in North Branch or the cities. It's just too hard to get conditions and snow and stuff. Most of the stuff's up a little bit further north.
Okay.
The last couple
Brainerd
years,
Lakes area.
Been in Iowa.
Yeah, we've been down in Iowa.
But it was kind of a unique situation. They had
Got some ice on a lake down there, and went and did some
minimal snow conditions, but a little bit of ice.
Community down there was fantastic.
Fantastic.
That was
Super fun.
a super cool venue.
Super fun.
So yeah, Minnesota, Iowa, Wisconsin, Michigan. We used to dabble in North Dakota. North Dakota is getting tougher.
Okay.
There's a couple of really sweet spots for races, but it's dependent on snow.
Yeah.
And the thing with North Dakota is if we have a bad snow year, our backups are typically ice races, and so if we don't have a lake close by, like we've had years where we got burned, low snow or it kind of blows away. And okay, boys, we're going racing in dirt this weekend.
Yeah.
Everybody's got to do it. Gear up, let's go.
Yeah. Whatever it takes.
Right.
Yeah.
Just to get the full series in, right?
Sure. Right.
Chase for points championship, you got to get the races in.
Yeah. Yeah. So, so kind of a two-part question, always fun to ask. Hey, what's up, guys? Hope you're enjoying the show so far. Just want to take a quick second to introduce another one of this year's sponsors. We got RSI, so whether you need handlebars or grips, seat covers, controls, etc., doesn't matter. Use SledSend 2023 at checkout for 15% off your next order. So what is, from a racing standpoint, what is, other than winning first place, of course, what is like the most rewarding aspect of doing all the racing and everything that goes into it? And then the second part, what do you guys feel is the most challenging aspect of it as well? So the most rewarding and the most challenging of what you guys do, other than winning first place trophy. I know that one, but
well, that's probably one of the most rewarding things I've noticed is seeing all of these young people, and like last year at the Goodrich Gurgle I-500. It's not every day where we see a lot of people out driving around watching a race, and a real rewarding thing is seeing all these people come out to watch all these snowmobiles go up and down the ditch, and it's just
they're watching you.
Yeah. Well, it's just fun to see everyone out and wanting to watch snowmobiles
and cross country's tough to spectate. It's point to point. There's not a grandstand you can stand in or anything like that. So you're chasing the race up and down the highway. So yeah, I could see how that could kind of fun. That it was beautiful weather, so people were out checking stuff out.
See many people just out, and they're just big smiles. Just watching snowmobiles all day.
Yeah.
I think
pretty cool.
In my eyes, I think one of the more rewarding sides of what we're doing is the fan base that's behind us, and like the nostalgia of what like our grandpa started. There are so many people that still recognize that and like check in to follow what's going on.
Yep.
And like, sure, there are definitely times in racing where it's like downer, like the bad day, things aren't going right. But then I could get a text from someone and like, we're rooting for you down in Florida this weekend. Like, we're glued in.
Keep us posted.
They're out, someone's out skiing that followed it back in the day, and they're just excited that we're doing it. And they're like, so cool that you're still doing this. And it's like, God, yeah, it is pretty cool we're still doing this.
Yeah.
That's
that
sick.
part, I think, is
keeping the heritage alive with what my dad started, and the boys are doing a great job, and keeping his legacy alive. So that's extremely rewarding. One of the most challenging things that I've taken away from racing, and I respect a lot more, I think, than even winning, is just the technical aspect of getting the machine to where it needs to be competitive.
Yep. Okay.
That's what drives me, or drove me for many years. Like, the end of the race or end of the weekend, I didn't always, we weren't always winning. We were super successful over the years, and came away with a lot of wins. But ultimately, I probably got way more second places and third places in there. So you're always driving to try to figure out where you fell short, and with the machine, and that's one of the things that I really love about it, and learning how it works, and trying to keep the keep up on what the new stuff is to make things better.
Yeah.
So
it's kind of a double edge. Like that part is like it can be the most frustrating of like, okay, how can we make this thing off the line, a little bit better, but still perform in a different aspect of the trail. Or
then as soon as you nail the setup, it's just the most rewarding thing.
Right. Yeah. That's what. Yep.
Yeah, it happens.
Struggle until it works.
It doesn't happen as often
as
you want it to, or
Sure.
it should. But and that can be super frustrating too. It's just beating your head against the wall and trying to figure it out. But it keeps us coming back year after year, weekend after weekend.
Yeah.
So.
Heck yeah. Yeah. So race all winter long. What does summer look like for you guys?
Busy.
Yeah, it's always busy. So I'm busy. With my daily routine. Work and that. It's the norm for just like anybody.
Yeah.
And I don't chase. We don't do any of the dirt stuff like a lot of people. That we race with. They're either racing cars or dirt bikes and stuff like that. That's one thing that I've never really fallen into because grew up going to a family lake cabin on Lake of the Woods, and if we could spend more time there, I would. Family. The kids are getting older now, and Taylor's married, and his in-laws have a lake cabin as well, and so they're down there. So we spend a lot of time at the lake. Bo, on the other hand, he's our farmer. He's gonna help feed America, I guess. And so he's just jonesing to go work as soon as school's out and get out in the field and get some stuff done. So
pretty much as soon as I'm done turning wrenches on snowmobiles, I'm going and turning wrenches on implements, tractors, and then we start going, and it's
the
15-hour days all the time.
The snow thing doesn't really end.
It's year round.
You're at Polaris, right? So as soon as we get done racing all summer long, you guys are still hard at it.
Yeah, we're just planning for the next year again. I mean, it's like anything, you get done with our validation cycle at Polaris, and we start working into the next one, and that's my day to day anyway.
Sure. Yeah.
So,
and it's also coming to events like Haydays all summer long. Going to doing snowmobiling things, and I wish there was more we could.
Yeah, it'd be fun if there was one every month, but.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
That'd be a lot.
It'd be a lot.
Heck yeah.
I mean, I suppose we could start drag racing.
Yeah, we could.
Oh, stand-up jet skis.
Watercross?
Jet skis.
Stand-up jet skis.
Jet skis?
That's where I spend a lot of my time in the summer.
I suppose.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's right.
Stand-up jet skis and walleye fishing.
There you go.
Yep.
There you go.
Yeah.
Nice.
Fishing and being on the boat and being on the water is just kind of like time to relax, and it's.
Yep. Heck yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
Jeff, how we doing on time? I know you got is that your wife that called you?
Yeah, she's fine.
Okay. Almost at 20 minutes. Okay. Do you have anything you want to throw in? Ask?
I was curious how those 500 mile races are you in the team aspect? Are you guys that go solo? Or what's that like?
Both.
Yeah, both. So, the 500 that we have here in Minnesota, it's the true I-500, point to point, Winnipeg to St. Paul is what it used to be. But it's a 500-mile individual, man against machine elements, all that stuff. And usually it's a 2 or 3 day event. It's been up to 4 days in the past, but we've sleds are awesome now. So they handle good, they ride good. So 250 miles isn't really out of the question. So now the guys are doing them. The boys are doing it in 2 days. And it's a single event. Multi stop. Get fuel and
4 times.
And
Both days.
do the same thing 2 days in a row. And guy with the fastest time after 2 days is the winner. But the Sioux 500 now, like we were talking about over in Michigan, that's a team event. We have a full-on pit crew. There's multiple drivers, and it's like NASCAR, but you're switching drivers. So you're coming in and you're changing skis, changing adding fuel, changing drivers, and fixing stuff if things aren't right, and getting back out on the track, hopefully before the pace sled, and on caution flags and things like that. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, that one. That's
new
the
brakes on.
8-hour chess match.
Yeah.
Strategize where you're gonna put yourself, when you're gonna come in for fuel. 1 ski, 2 skis, fuel.
When you're gonna change brake pads.
Yeah. It's
How often are you guys changing engines, swapping full motors, or how's that?
That's pretty rare.
Yeah,
We don't do a lot of engine.
Okay.
I mean, the stuff that we're doing for like our enduro, they're modded out 600s, but they're tailored for all day wide open.
Okay.
Like some aspects of racing, they're built for like really big power for a short amount of time, and that stuff usually doesn't quite live, in our aspect.
Yeah.
But our stuff it's taken a couple renditions. Like we've gone through and popped holes through engines, and we've done that before. But once you get a package down and it's built right and harmonious, it just keeps going. It just keeps clicking.
And our cross-country sleds, the sleds that we race on the Core Series circuit, that's like the Goodrich Goodwill 500, we usually rebuild those engines every couple races.
Yeah.
Just to keep them fresh. But, I mean, if we wanted to, we could run them all year.
Yeah.
And
a lot of guys do.
They would probably be just fine, but we like to keep them fresh.
Yeah, they start to show wear. I mean, we're there to win, and
Heck yeah.
every time you freshen the thing up, it's like starting over.
It's like a brand new snowmobile again.
Yeah.
So that's what we're every 500 miles or so, got to freshen them up, clean things up. Or every weekend, if it's if we're hard on things and kind of nervous about where things are at. So.
Yeah, understandably.
Track has some influence on that too.
Yep.
We've had a couple of cross country races in March, like a lake race. It historically turns into a water race, and there's some water ingestion that we pull. So it's like, okay, we should probably rebuild this engine before the next weekend.
Yeah,
gotcha.
Get that moisture out.
It is crazy how much they take in, and they're still going just.
They
fine.
are, but it's not good for them.
No.
Washes the oil off the cylinders.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Huh. Awesome. Okay, so towards the end of every episode, we do a sled talk question for all the listeners and the viewers, and so put all three of you on the spot to come up with a question that you'd like to ask the listeners. Could be something specific about racing, something specific about a style of sled, gear. Doesn't really matter, but if you can come up with a question to ask, so that we can get some answers from the audience and the listeners.
Come up with a question. Say that again. Come up for a question to do what?
So a sled talk question. So come up with a question that you'd like to ask the listeners and the viewers. We do this on every episode.
Yep.
And then we cut it into micro clips, and it works really, really well on TikTok, Instagram Reels and stuff, because everybody wants to voice their opinion, right? So it's always fun to do, Polaris versus Skidoo, and then people fight in the comments. It's great for engagement and marketing aspect of it. You know what I mean? And it could be absolutely anything. Broad, super specific, doesn't matter, but it's a great way for engagement.
Sure. Let me think about that one.
Yeah.
Come up with a good question.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure you guys get a lot of this stuff, performance-based things. So, trying to think of something off the cuff, but it's tough. There's a lot of good questions out there, but one that's front and center that I question all the time at work is turbo or NA. I mean, what's your preference and why? Do you think turbos are the way to go, or naturally aspirated the way to go? Be interesting to see what the world says.
Yep, absolutely. Let us know in the comments below.
I don't know. I'm still kind of thinking.
What about? Do you ride with insulated gear or shell? What's your go-to?
And why?
That's a good one too.
And why? Yeah,
and why? Yep.
Why insulated or why a shell?
Yep. Absolutely. Good one. Okay.
Are you more of a 2-stroke or a 4-stroke? And why?
Hey.
Oh,
Perfect.
Hey, that's a good one too.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And why?
And why?
And why? Awesome. Yeah. Let us know in the comments below your guys' answers. We appreciate you guys tuning in. And it's been great to meet you guys. We
Yeah,
chatted for a little bit last night, but
Yeah.
I appreciate you guys taking the time to mosey on over here and jump on the podcast.
For
I appreciate
sure.
it.
Thanks for inviting us over. It's
Yeah.
been fun, and it's always fun to come over and see David and Trixie
Oh, yeah.
at the Alpine Lodge.
Good people.
booth. So,
Great people.
Yeah, I'm just glad to be here.
Awesome. Cool. Glad to have you guys. Sled Talk listeners, thank you guys for tuning in. We'll catch you guys on the next episode.
Living life with no regrets. I can't designer when I get dressed. Summertime on winter fresh. I put her legs behind her head. Night, she gone to bed. Bye bye. Every day it's a new test. I just keep chasing these chicks.